Well, what do you know? The gang is all back together.
Thank God.
It's been a long time coming.
It has been so long. It was kind of depressing for a while.
What y'all been doing?
I loved being with y'all individually, but we needed everybody here.
We did.
It's been too darn long.
Yeah, 2 weeks for you, and then last week for Trav.
That's
we
too
almost
long
didn't
for
have
us.
me this week, but I made it happen.
That's too long for us.
That's too long. That's too long. That's too long. And I don't know if any of you guys tuned in last week or remember, but we said Tracy was going to bring a special guest. And I really think this episode's going to be unlike any other.
Yes, for sure. It's going to be trailblazing.
So if you remember, I had a prairie dog named Herbie. He passed away in August. And report he's returned.
It's our nephew, y'all.
Returned.
Welcome to the Kickin' It set. It's
Herb.
Herb.
So glad you're here. Okay, and also, Tracy, you've also had ideas of how to,
Okay, now this is the funny part. So taxidermying Herb was Gary's idea. I found a freeze-dry taxidermist, so it's not as invasive, we'll say, as a regular taxidermist.
Can I ask why?
No, I think you're gonna give me a high five.
Y'all are unhinged. See, look at Herb. Herb
Yeah,
feels
so
exactly.
wholesome. Wait, can I ask the difference between the two?
Well, okay, yes. In traditional taxidermy, what they would do is they would like skin the animal and put it over a mold.
Okay.
In freeze-dried taxidermy, it's more like preserving the whole creature.
Oh.
So is he stuffed with anything?
He did get a little bit of filler because I asked for him to be. He was really thin when he
He's
died.
got a little lip filler.
Got a little filler in there. And luckily here in Missouri, we have the largest, you'll see that in a minute. I'll get it in a minute. The largest freeze-dry taxidermist in North America.
Wow.
Anthony Eddy Wildlife Studio, conveniently located 3.5 hours away in Slater, Missouri. And no, this is not an ad because I paid full price, which is $250 to have my prairie dog. Now, so Gary and I are driving to, Herb has died. It's been about only a few days, and we froze him. Right? Because he's like, okay, you're going to go ahead and put Herb in the freezer, wrap him twice in Ziploc bags. That's what the sweet man at Anthony
In Slater.
Did it smell?
No.
Okay.
No, I was curious. No, it's frozen.
Okay.
So anyway, so Gary and I are driving to Slater, Missouri. It's 3 hours away. Herbie is on ice in a Ziploc bag in a Yeti cooler in the back. And I go, Gary, I am so excited because once we get him done, then he can finally wear all of his hats. And Gary goes, I think that's too far. I go, that's too far. The prairie dog is on ice in the back of our car, and that's too far. So I'm happy to report that he is indeed ready
for Cinco de Mayo. Can we just please cue up the music? Can we please cue up the music? First of all, can we turn attention to how his hands are placed, though? Because
it's literally perfect.
Like, this is how I want to go out in my casket, and I need you two to make sure that this happens. But this is exactly how I would be laying. Like,
just unbothered.
At peace.
Unbothered.
And if you're wondering what that was a surgery scar from where he was neutered. So he's had that scar his whole life.
Our nephew. Can you pass him here?
He's ready for this one.
Yeah.
This one has had some difficulty staying on, but there's his.
See, my problem is I wouldn't want to like create a whole closet for Herb, because y'all know.
Oh, Herb has a whole closet. He
would be dressed in the nine, dressed to the nine.
In life, Herbie hated clothing.
So Herb would not be.
He loves it.
Okay, so you probably can't see it, but I have a scar on this finger, and that was from trying to put him in his pumpkin costume. He did not want to wear the pumpkin costume.
I mean, Tracy,
I'm sorry.
I have no words.
Would I taxidermy a dog or a cat? No, I would not. But Herbie was a different pet. And
that's what Gary said. Gary said because it was such a unique pet. Because the fact that this is Gary's idea is also a wild part of the story, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, Travis, you're taking a real good look.
Yeah, I'm a little. Why are you staring at it like that?
Because it's so well done, and he looks so at peace. And that's just where I want to be. At peace.
Well, we don't want you to go to that side yet.
Not yet. But it's so fascinating. Now, aren't there some that are like in different coating other than their actual skin? Or am I thinking about another process?
Coating? What are you talking
Like,
about?
there's like, aren't there like some animals that can be like, what is it?
Like a jackalope where they add horns to a rabbit?
No.
I don't
Is
even
it
think
almost
Travis
like a
knows
wax?
what he's talking about.
Yeah, I feel like, aren't some like wrapped in like some sort of coating? I'll have
I
to
don't
look that
think
up later.
so. Maybe we could bronze him, but
I think that's what I'm,
A
you know, I'm
bronzing?
always trying to add a little pizzazz.
You looking at his little teeth?
Yeah.
Herb.
Wow.
Now Herb had
Wow.
been on the air a couple times.
He did.
He predicted multiple Super Bowls and Groundhog's Days.
Groundhog's Days.
Across the country. Michigan, Oregon, here
Wow.
in St. Louis.
So what do they stuff them with?
They called that some sort of like padding. I would guess it's kind of like a foam.
And this man you went to in Slater, Missouri.
Anthony Eddy Wildlife Studio.
Yeah. Does he have a lot of business? Like, do people? I feel like I always know about this when it comes to like things people shoot.
They are so busy
Really?
that they turn people away for like larger animals.
I wonder what's the largest animal.
I know. I
they've
was gonna
ever
say,
done.
did you ask? Did you hear anything?
Because if I walk in there and I see
He
a
said he
star,
had a heart-
if I see a horse, we're gonna have a problem.
Well, because is this the first prairie dog for him?
I am proud to report that this was the first pet prairie dog.
Pet
They
prairie dog.
They do like regular like hunting taxidermy as well, but this was the first pet prairie dog they've done. They've had like snakes and turkeys and things like that too, like for hunters.
Mm-hmm.
But he did tell me that they were turning away larger dogs because they just didn't have the room.
That's crazy.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you go out in style.
Mm-hmm. Amen. I love that. Was amazing. That was perfect. That
Welcome.
was seriously perfect.
Yeah.
This one I'm just so
I don't know if the rest of the episode can measure up, but we just have to start it with that.
Right.
I mean,
Cinco de Mayo.
yeah,
is
Cinco
next
de
week.
Mayo. Let's set him up.
We'll leave him with his.
Now, I don't want to be forceful, but like maybe around the holidays you can bring him again every time. He has a new hat.
He'd
I
be a
feel
great
like that would be a
accessory for
great
the table.
addition.
With
We
his
need to
new
decorate this
hat.
table up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Herb.
Herb.
We
That's
love you,
incredible.
Herb.
We love you, Herb. Okay, I saw this one actually on Instagram, and I just thought we would all think it's wild. I think obviously every job is different. We have a very different job. So this says that studies show the average office worker is fully productive for only 2 hours and 53 minutes out of an 8-hour workday. They said the remaining time is consumed by meetings, emails, distractions, and frequent short breaks. These conversations are sparking fresh debates about remote work, the potential benefits of shorter work days, and whether the traditional 9-to-5 structure is outdated.
I truly love that this puts meetings in the not productive.
Right? I thought that same thing. Also, emails. When you have to respond to emails, is that not being productive too?
I would think emails are productive. It depends on what they count as productive.
I feel like meetings
Travis's
these
arms
days
are
are
crossed.
like.
This is like a
He's ready.
He's in his
He's ready.
Stand.
I feel like
You need a sip of
meetings
water before you
are
start?
to
You need
meet
a
a
sip of
quota.
water?
It's almost like we need to do 5 meetings a week, and I need you all to be there. It's like it's a waste of time.
Well, you know what? In our work, we don't have a lot of meetings compared to the average person.
We don't.
I mean, we
No,
have
I
our
don't think so.
editorial meetings, and that's really it. And then if we
Right.
have big projects and stuff coming up, that's it. But we may have one-on-ones.
Yeah.
But I think, like, for my dad, for example, he's also in management. There's days he says he's in meetings from 8 to 4. So you're saying that's not productive? I just think that's confusing. Also, only fully productive 2 hours and 53 minutes out of an 8-hour workday. We're productive 9 hours.
10 hours.
I mean,
If we were only productive for 3 hours, you wouldn't see any stories on TV.
No.
Yeah.
Stories on
So Tracy, I think you and I were able to test this because we both. Did you work 410s at any point? You didn't? Okay, so I worked 410s. We
Yeah.
shifted to the 410 model.
Yeah.
So what we were noticing was like, okay, it seems like we're working 8 hours or 10 hours even when we're doing
anyway,
5 days a week.
Anyway, yeah.
So because we're always moving, like our line of work, we're always moving.
Right. Well, also, I think too that was nice because we had 3 days off. So that felt like a refresher. But then sometimes I felt like my 10-hour days were actually shifted into 12-hour days. So I just felt like the days became longer. But also, I do know a lot of my friends that do have hybrid jobs or remote work, and they get a lot less done working from home. I remember even when I was working from home in COVID, if I finished my story, then I was just kind of doing laundry. Like you could just, I think it's really easy to get distracted. I'm glad we have a job where we have to stay in the office because I like also chatting with people and stuff. And I think you can get more done. But I think the traditional.
Loved working from home.
You did?
I loved it. I loved it. If I never had to come back into the building again except to do things like this or the like actual show, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, you know what? I
loved reporting from home.
That's because you know what, Tracy? You know you're not actually really that social.
Yeah.
You can do without people.
Yeah, and Travis and I are talking to everybody.
We're social beings. We're social butterflies. And so we lean on that. We thrive off of that.
Yes, I need the people.
Contact
I definitely felt like, and I know a lot of people did during COVID, I was definitely, maybe I was depressed. I don't fully know. I was never diagnosed. But I think you can definitely...
We have a lingering diagnosis.
I think you can definitely just I also lived alone. I was in Arkansas. I think you can definitely just get into a mindset of like, oh, it's okay that I haven't spoken to anyone all day in person or over the phone. And that I can go crazy.
Yeah.
I also think though, the traditional 9 to 5 is dumb. I think if you're a salary worker and you're done with your work, go home. Why do we need to clock out at 5?
Every manager is having a minor panic attack of what you just said.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
They want to see butts and seats.
Yeah,
if they don't see you, you're not working.
Yeah, they got to see the productivity.
They got to see people in the building.
Yeah.
But I've always felt like if the work is done, it looks good.
I think that
still here.
Where was it? I don't know where it was, but I think it would be great if America went to like Monday through Thursday. We don't have to do full 10s, but just like maybe say an extra 30 minutes or something. I really think, how much work do you think gets done on Fridays? Everywhere. We have to get our work done because it has to come up on air. But like in corporate America, how much work do we actually think is getting done?
Well, you know what? I think being a journalist, we test this out every week, right? Because we reach out to a lot of people on Friday.
Yeah.
Not available.
Where are they? Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found. Or it's like
available.
Working from home, which is totally fine. I mean, but like, I just don't think a lot of work happens on Fridays.
Yeah.
So it's
but I tell you what, being on that 410s, it felt like I was on a vacation every week.
I know. The 3 days off was
3 days off is perfect.
But I also felt like I was neglecting the building in a way because like I would come back to work, I'm like, what's happening? I always felt like I was on a vacation.
Well, I also felt like I couldn't get as much work done, but I think because we had only 2 days during the week during the work week for everyone else. So I think that's why I felt like I was like, I can't get as much done because less people are available on the weekend.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know nurses do the same. It's just interesting. I just think we need to screw the mold.
Yep. Restart it. Society. Start it over.
Restart it. That was just wild to me because I was like,
For sure.
Okay. Singles are avoiding dating because of rising cost. So a new survey shows many singles are going on fewer dates and opting for lower cost activities. Nearly half of those surveys say dating expenses are getting in the way of their financial goals and aren't worth it. Gen Z adults report spending more than $200 on an average date.
I believe that.
While millennials say they're spending closer to $250. So singles are rethinking how often they date, with many choosing budget-friendly options or skipping dates altogether.
I was about to say, people just need to get more creative.
Yeah. Go to the park.
Go to the park.
Walk in the park.
I love a little arch date.
Yeah. Also, though, I think that it's really easy to be like, oh, we'll just go grab this drink, or oh, we'll just go to dinner. And it adds up so quickly. Like at first when I saw this and it said $200 on an average date, I was like, that's wild.
Well, if
now I don't pay for my dates, but I do take a peek at the paycheck, and I would think I would add up.
Well, I was gonna say, you think dating is expensive? Marriage is just as expensive, right? Because people don't realize like you're literally checking in with the person every day, 3 times.
But to be fair, Travis, like your marriage and my marriage are 2 very different things. Like you go on regular dates.
Do you and Gary not have like a date? When's the last time y'all had a date night where you went out to dinner together?
The 10 a.m. news.
Where we went out to dinner together, like we did like by the time our schedules are so different, and by the time I get home, like I just want to be at home. So like us being together like on a nice night is like bringing the horses in, making dinner, and watching John Oliver. And then going to bed at like 8:30. Yeah. That's usually it.
But that's real.
It's just nice. Like even last night, like I was reading my book and he was playing Donkey Kong, and we got to sit next to each other for 45 minutes, and it was really nice.
But don't you just appreciate his presence?
Yeah, just being next to each other.
I have yet to explain why.
You know, I think everyone's wondering why.
I don't know, but I do like him.
But no.
But I also,
But you go on real dates. Like, you have date nights, like organized going out
We do.
together activities.
And our dates are super expensive because we like to be with each other. Well, I'm just saying because we like to travel. That's like our together time.
Yeah.
We
so
do.
That's not a normal
Well, I mean,
date.
Gary and I are going to Japan this year.
Yeah.
So that's 10 days together.
Oh,
Yeah.
10 days in Japan.
No, it's true. It's kind of wild, but I also think that dating is also, I think too, I'm thinking of first dates. Like when I was going on a lot of first dates.
This is good. This
Like
is good.
risk cost analysis.
Yes. So I kind of can understand. I always did the whole, which I think every woman should. The man should pay. I'm sorry. I'm from the South. I really believe that. Especially the first. Once you start dating, I think you can figure out for yourselves who's paying. But like and switch off. But I think at the beginning, the man should pay. I always did the whole like act like I'm reaching. And they would normally be like, "Oh no, I got it." Or when they grabbed it, I'd be like, "Are you sure?" And they would be like, "Yes." Just to be respectful. Don't assume.
Did you ever reach for it and had to pay?
Oh my God, yeah. Okay.
Please tell us
I
about that
actually-
time.
Backfired. It backfired.
I actually, it's when I was on the dating apps, like most people. This was not like this past year, but the year before. I did like 2 different stints on Hinge.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on this date, and mind you, this man got twice as many alcoholic beverages as I did. So he got 4 beers. I got 2 margaritas. He got 4 tacos. I got 2 tacos. He reaches for the bill. I go, "Oh, are you sure we can split it?" Because every other time a guy's been like, "No, I got it. Don't worry." He goes, "Yeah, that'd be great." Splits it down the middle.
Not split down the middle.
I was paying for I was paying for all his extra stuff.
Wow.
I never saw him again.
Moral of the
I
story.
sent the obligatory, I don't feel the spark.
Let me ask you ladies this. So do you think the first date has to be fine dining, White Claw?
No. Oh, God, no.
not.
No,
Okay.
a lot of my first dates were actually more chill.
Okay.
A lot of times I like to do a drink first because I don't want to commit to dinner. I don't know you. So if it's one drink, I can suck down a glass of wine pretty quickly and then
And
I
out
can
you
go.
go.
And I can go.
That's
but
real.
Yeah, I've never done dinner on a first date.
That's
Because
good.
I don't want, and
That's
I also don't
good.
think I think if it's too nice, it's kind of intimidating.
Yeah. I think the narrative, like right now in this generation, is it has to be
It's
like,
so weird though.
you need to take me on a yacht. We need to go
Yeah.
sail. Like, what?
No, I think that's extra. I think that's crazy.
How about this $10 special at
Yeah,
Applebee's?
exactly. I love a good deal. I love
Popeyes.
a good deal.
Meet me
Popeyes.
in the Popeyes drive-thru.
Meet me at Popeyes.
Meet me at the park with some Popeyes, and that's just love.
The weight of my heart.
Okay, we'll do one more. So basically, a new Wall Street Journal showed how much time people are speaking less, just because of the lives we live now. So people in 2005 were speaking about over 16,000 words per day. Now it's more like 11,000.
Not us.
And it's like,
Not us.
but it's a 28% decline. But then when you think about it, it's like now, think.
Perhaps this is the time where we're going to tell you about our annual reviews.
Perhaps not.
Somebody, and I won't say who, got a note on theirs that said, "Stop social chatter in the newsroom."
I'm going to be like Herb.
So perhaps some people are speaking less, but if you got on your review, "Stop social chatter in the newsroom," probably ain't you.
Probably not you. Probably not you. But this was really interesting because it kind of went into how even nowadays people don't think of, like, you have friends that don't live in the same city as you. You don't see them. You text them happy birthday. A lot of people do. Or even just like ordering food to go on your phone, not calling. Like little things like that.
Little things.
And I think that's where this younger generation, poor people, like, I feel like if we ever had kids, we would really teach our kids that.
Yeah.
Because this younger generation's losing that. Like, I feel like I know so many people. Even when I was growing up, I was always the talker, obviously. So when we would have to call a place, shocking. My friends would be like, "Mercedes will do it." And I was always comfortable doing it.
Well, you guys used to laugh at me on weekends, so we would order breakfast, and I would always be the one to call if we needed to change an order or something.
Yeah, you did. Well, because it was always your order that needed
But it would
to
always be, "Hey, my baby, how you doing? Yep, you want some more sauce?" "Yes, ma'am." Because I don't know, I love being able to like be personal with.
Well, I also think of like, and I've definitely done this before when I've gotten DoorDash. I'm like, if this person tries to talk to me, like I'm like, absolutely not.
Well, it is straight. DoorDash is new territory.
Yeah, that is
people
so
are walking up to your door. They know where you live.
I'm like, I said, drop it. And it's like, hi, how are you doing? I'm like,
Now you can request the no contact. Now I haven't been that person, y'all.
I was gonna say Uber.
I don't want to be labeled as
Uber Karen.
Uber
Are you a
Eats
DoorDash Karen?
I'm not. I actually talk to the people.
You do?
Now Robert's like, But no, you know what I've been doing lately for friends? I'm glad you brought that up. I've been sending friends voice messages and like videos for their birthdays.
Oh yeah, I always send voice memos on birthdays.
Yeah, instead.
I think it's
more personal.
I think
save it.
And it's super, and it's easy to do. Yep. I remember a couple of years ago, I actually called my friend from home and left her a voicemail. And it was when voice memos were kind of popular. And she was like, okay, grandma. She's like, you left me a voicemail? I was like, oh. But like, I still think like I talk to my uncle on the phone still. I call my like there are some like it is definitely a generational thing though. But I think probably with y'all too, we've lived in so many different places. I have so many friends that don't live in St. Louis. Yes. And I'm very big about setting up FaceTime dates or calling them on the phone, not just like a text like, how are you doing?
Yeah. My best friends from college, like we were doing an annual wine night where we would hop on FaceTime.
Oh yes. I do miss that in COVID. I feel like people were so good about that because everyone was like stuck.
Yep. But sheltering in place.
It's just wild how much.
Yeah,
I mean, even think of the people. Yeah, even the people that you see like walking around who have to look down at their phone, won't even like look up and say hi. It's just weird.
Well, I even think like with greetings, like passing people by, like instead of like you'll say, "Oh, hey, Trav, how you doing?" And then I'll go into like my whole weekend or something that's been going on in life. The average person just walks by, "Hey, how are you? I'm good," and that's it. Like there's no depth to conversation.
No, not at all. Well, that's it.
Herb.
Happy early Cinco de Mayo, everyone.
Go get all of the margaritas, all of the tacos.
He did turn out pretty cute.
No, he actually is really cute. He looks really cute. We'll see y'all next week with Herb.
Kickin' It.